Welcome to the Nerd Show. Peter Brown, Uncle Ed here with you guys today.
Hey,
sorry about last week, by the way. Sorry about last week.
I was a little under the weather last week.
Yes, and I just didn't feel like I could do the soccer show by myself, but like I don't have the intro. I think I didn't download the intro, so I was just I kind of freaked out and then I didn't do it by myself. But I'm gonna try to do it by myself next time if Peter, gets hurt or something. So thanks for joining us, guys. We've got a cool nerd show. We're going to cover just whatever you guys want to talk about. We're going to just put it in the chat room and let us know what you guys want to talk about, because we got a lot of good stuff. And we've got Peter's going to tell us something, some historical stuff, of course, Disney stuff, because he's such a Disney freak. But we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And but just wanted to say hello to everybody that's starting to join us. Like I said, go ahead and put what you guys want to talk about. We're going to talk dragons. We're going to talk rings. We're going to talk hoaxes. We're going to talk what else? What else is out there? Oh, I saw this vampire one. Yeah, Andor. I saw the vampire thing that I was talking to you about. I think I talked to you about it, didn't I?
Werewolf?
The vampire one?
Oh, no, vampire or werewolf?
Yeah, there's a vampire show out tonight. Interview with the vampire. I don't know if you guys like that.
No, I didn't know about that.
Or read it. Yeah. Well, we'll just talk about it briefly.
Me about it,
yeah. You told me about the werewolf stuff. I totally forgot to watch it. I'm a little bit out of it lately because of stuff, but Peter's the one that it keeps me up to date, and
I got time.
I need to catch up.
I got time. I don't have little kids running around the house. My daughter's is in her senior year of high school. She does her own thing, or so I got time. I got time to watch stuff.
Yeah, he sure does. God bless you, Peter Brown, because we need your nerd expertise in just about everything that we talk about. Well, and there's something you guys could do. Give us a call. Join us on the show, 786-474-4435, and we will, talk whatever you guys want to. We're going to definitely start saying hello to people as soon as they start joining us.
Well, we got one.
You missed one day.
We got one in there.
we missed one day, and, people just forget that we do this show. It's like Peter had said before, this is more of a love for nerdom show, because our real forte is soccer. But I was gonna tell Peter before he rudely interrupted me and started the show that we should probably do a music show. Peter, because
we'll just disagree on every episode.
Yes, we will, but we'll get to talk about stuff.
Everything you listen to is crap, and you'll tell me what I listen. Well, you're not that, but see, you're nicer, so you'll be like, it's okay.
No, but because I have a better love for I think every music genre there is. But you're just heavy metal, and that's it, So headbanger stuff, and but I've got a love. I mean, I'm back in the day I used to listen to like Metallica and but none of those glamour heavy metal bands that you did, that would dress up and put lipstick on, And I'm not talking Kiss. I'm talking about those glam rock guys.
Poison and Warrant and Motley Crue wearing a pink spandex and
they used to do that stuff, man.
Oh yeah. I was
I think if you guys are interested, eventually, we could probably do a show on that, because I think there would be a lot of laughs and people would be making fun of weird hairstyles from my new wave bands that I used to like back then. Flock of Seagulls. You ever saw them?
Oh, God.
You used to have the hair, Peter.
Not that hair.
But you could have done it because you had a lot of hair.
I had way too much. I did not have Flock of Seagulls.
Well,
questions are starting to pop in. I don't know. Maybe we should change the topic.
Well, no, let's start saying hello to everybody. I kind of did that on purpose.
I know.
Kill some time so that people could start joining us. But let's start saying hello to some of these people. And hello, Estebandido.
I saw him.
I saw that.
I saw him on last night. I couldn't remember what day it was.
Yesterday after the soccer game, I saw that Peter interviewed him. Apologies to everybody that I wasn't at the soccer show and game after game.
Looking for you. I didn't know.
One of my nephews had an agreement.
We were going to meet.
You know how Latinos are, man. Everything's last minute. So these kids are telling me, "Oh, by the way, I've got to catch a plane at 8, and his house, and we had to go get his bags, which were by my house, which I live, like an hour away from, and then we had to go all the way back to the airport. So I was like, oh man, we're not gonna have time. He didn't make the plane.
Oh,
with that, I got to tell you everything.
Oh,
and we hurried back and everything.
He missed the flight. So, damn.
He missed the flight.
Oh,
and
wow.
Dude, I tried to get him back on time, but even, so if I would have done the show, well, he still wouldn't have made it. Maybe I should have just done the show.
The difference is he would have blamed you, whereas this one, now it wasn't your fault. Like, you did everything in your power.
I did everything humanly possible to get the kid there.
Had you done the post-game thing with me and grabbed people, then he could have blamed you for it. But hey, the one thing is, Ed, you're much better at grabbing people and talking to people, and you're not shy about that stuff. The one cool thing is I ran into more viewers last night than maybe ever before. Like, constantly people coming up to me, and some of them were in the video. This cute little kid comes up to me, and you saw the interaction. He's just like, hey, Peter, I want to interview me. And I'm like, okay, you watch, and I look over and I see the dad, and he goes, watches every show,
Wow.
And love it. Love it. 7-8-year-old kid,
dude, and that's awesome. I had a lot of people. Yeah, well, I ended up going to the supporters group, going back to our roots, and I was like, Peter, come on. He's like, dude, it's raining. I'm not gonna go get wet. And Hulu, same thing.
Even though I have a fancy raincoat, Inter Miami raincoat, I still was like, nah.
And for you guys that don't know, we're the first. We were some of the guys that started the founding members of the Southern Legion, which for so many years, when we didn't have all the gray hairs, we helped bring back soccer to South Florida. Anyways, so I went to the and I got wet, and a lot of people came up to me because I wear my Uncle Ed, and everybody was yelling, Uncle Ed. So I didn't know who was coming, but they were yelling at me, and I was just like, hello, I don't know where you're at, but as I'm going up the stairs or whatever. But some people came up to me and said that they appreciated that we do our show, and I plugged this show. I told them we do a nerd show on Mondays, by the way.
Yeah.
So if you guys subscribe, you can.
It was brought up in the chat by Uncle Ned that he brings up a good point. Next Monday is the playoff game. We probably need to boot on this show and do a post-game soccer show. So I think that's probably the better idea, is to do a post-game, discuss. I don't even know what time the game is. I think it's somewhere probably 8:00. So that means like a 10:00 show or something like that. But
right.
We probably should do a Monday night, post game Inter Miami. So I would think next week probably no nerd show, but that's fine.
Oh yeah. I don't know if we could do it on no nerd show next week. Wow.
I mean,
kids.
We could punt it onto a different day, but I was just thinking it might make sense. I mean, celebrate and talk about the big game that's happening on that night, right?
Unless we do it on Sunday, the nerd show. We do a little switcheroo.
Oh man,
we could do switcheroo.
We're gonna screw everybody up.
Yeah, but they're gonna be expecting soccer, and they're gonna be like,
they're gonna be all pissed off that we're not talking soccer and we're talking Batman or something. They're gonna be pissed off.
Yeah, or
maybe I'll do that. Anyways, let's say hi to some people.
But going back to saying hi to people, Richard Greenberg, how you doing, our friend? Thanks to you guys, we kind of basically, because he's a Toronto fan, so and a fellow nerd. God bless you, Richard. Who else we got? We got Fogata Vitrinas.
Oh, I think
nice. Okay. Oh, my cousin Michelle. What's up? My cousin Michelle in Ecuador.
I think you missed Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd the Law. Sorry, Judge Dredd. I got excited because I saw my cousin on there, Michelle. And who else we got here? We got One World, One Goal. Gosh, man, she goes way back to the Fusion days with us. So, and she's a great supporter, but I haven't seen her at the stadium yet.
Yeah, I know.
So we got a problem with that.
And we can, you need to come. Be our guest.
Italia, yes, come. Sometimes we have extra tickets, so come and hang out with us.
Next year,
bring number 17.
Season, we have to see you in the stadium.
Definitely.
Either sitting with us or whatever you want to do, but you need to be there.
Exactly. Our good friend Brian King is also with us. How you doing, Brian? I haven't seen him lately because he sits on the other side of the stadium. We're on this side, so good for him. All right. And who else we got? And I think that's it for now. Just guys, be sure to, get on the chat and let us know what you guys want to talk about, and we'll definitely do that. And so, Peter.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with that shirt. First thing I saw.
You don't like my shirt?
No, but that shirt. If anybody, do you guys notice who that bunny is that he has right there?
They don't know who this is. They all think that's Mickey Mouse.
It looks like Mickey Mouse, but it's not. It's not Mickey Mouse. It's a bunny, right?
It is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Oswald was the original, cartoon by Walt Disney. Actually, before that was technically the Alice comedies that they did. But then after that, they did Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which they did for Universal Studios. Funny story about that, though, is that Disney got fired from his own cartoon. And Universal Studios, I think his name was Howard Mintz, fired him and then hired away several of his artists. And he was really upset. On the train ride back from New York back to L.A., he basically ripped himself off and created Mickey Mouse to have like a big FU to Universal, so, because you could see the character looks very similar to Mickey, and right. He drew a sketch, and Ub Iwerks, made the fine tuning. That was his real animator, did the fine tuning and it made it better. But he did a sketch of basically of Oswald with rounded ears, really, if you think about it.
Nice.
And go ahead.
Let me interrupt you real quick. So Oswald, he didn't copyright him. How did Universal end up keeping it?
Because he was hired by Universal. This was the beginning of his career. He didn't have his own creations that he owned. He was working for another company. He was hired to do a job to create a cartoon. But once he didn't realize how all the business works. Once he lost his character, he says, I'll never let that happen again.
Right.
I will own and I will everything I ever create. And but nice. The funny story is for many, many years, 30, 40 years, something like that, maybe more, Disney did not have the rights to this character, but now they do.
Nice.
They got the rights back in a funny little deal that involves Monday Night Football.
Oh, wow. And how in tarnations did that happen? The Monday Night Football. What?
Well, NBC had Monday Night Football, and they had Al Michaels. Basically Disney made a deal to get Monday Night, or it was the other way around. I think ABC had Monday Night Football and NBC wanted. I think it was the other way around.
ABC owned by.
Well, not owned. They had they owned Al Michaels, right? And I think it was NBC was getting Monday Night Football, and so basically, they traded Al Michaels for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, basically,
nice,
and some money.
Nice,
but they got the rights back to him. So
sounds like a soccer deal.
A long story that probably nobody but me cared, but One World, One Goal thought it was Mickey. See, people are gonna think it's Mickey, but the long ears and So.
That's and that's what I thought too. But then I looked at it real up close because that was one of the things when Peter got on there. I was like, "What is that, Peter?" And then he started telling me he started telling me the story, and I was like, "No, this is interesting. I want to hear about it while we're doing it live." So. Thanks, Peter, for that little bit of history.
I'm always trying to find a new nerdy shirt. I got plenty.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that too, because I can't let Peter, get away with all the,
This is before.
What's that, Steamboat?
Yeah, this is before Steamboat Willie. This is before. And the funny thing is, everybody, Disney likes to claim that Steamboat Willie is the first Mickey Mouse cartoon, and that is not true. The first Mickey Mouse cartoon was Plain Crazy. Second Mickey Mouse cartoon was Gallopin' Gaucho. Third cartoon was Steamboat Willie, but they made it with sound. So then they claimed that as the original and re-released Plain Crazy and Gallopin' Gaucho with sound. But technically, Disney lies when they say that their character was created in 1928 and the Steamboat Willie. That's a lie. But anyways.
Mm-hmm. Peter Brown would know because he's basically, Disney's stepchild or something. But good stuff.
B King is asking about my background, Ed, because you love my background. These are real.
Good ones.
These are real. These are attraction posters. When you walk underneath the train station in the Magic Kingdom or in Disneyland, you will see ride attraction posters. These are those.
Nice.
Not a green screen. That's my real background. The soccer shows. The soccer shows.
The stuff behind me, that's a poster too.
Pew, pew. Anyways, I don't think anybody wants to talk about that. But there is some soccer conversation going on in here too. New York City, Inter Miami playing at Red Bull Arena. Yes, they are. There must be a baseball or a conflict with the Yankee Stadium, right?
Turns out, and this is brand new stuff, and we shouldn't be talking about soccer, but since they brought it up,
we didn't do a soccer show either, though. Really?
So. Yeah. So it seems like they're going to get to play at their stadium because the Mets, I think, are.
Yankees.
Well, it's not their stadium. Yeah, actually, the Mets. They might play at the Mets stadium.
Oh, they're going to play at the Mets stadium. So
because they're eliminated.
One baseball stadium to another baseball stadium. That's dumb.
Yep. And I saw that Jorge Mas was complaining about that. He was saying that if why are we going to go play at a baseball field? So he's saying no, they should just play at Red Bull Arena. And I happen to agree. So that's all over Twitter right now. If you guys want to get on Twitter and support or say no, just let them play wherever. You can do that. It's on Twitter right now. Look for Jorge Mas, and he's giving his opinion on that one.
Richard Greenberg is asking, so did Peter buy the shirt at Universal Studios? No, because I bought this shirt since Disney owns Oswald. That deal, I think, was for Oswald and Al Michaels. I think it was probably around 10 years ago. Not exactly sure. Disney hasn't done a whole lot. They did a meet and greet with Oswald in Japan, which was pretty cool, in the Tokyo Disney, but nothing down here.
Well, that's a cool character. I can't wait till they start doing something about it. Maybe they should.
They used him in a video game. There was a video game. Some of you might be gamers. There was a game called Epic Mickey, I think it was called, or Epic Mickey, I think it was. And they used Oswald as the kind of main character in it. I didn't play it. But I know it existed, but I don't know if it was popular or not. So
cool. Anyway, so I think it's enough of Disney already, and our soccer in between that. So, what do you want to talk about? By the way, guys, there's a number right there. If you guys want to leave any comment, go ahead and give us a call.
Richard Greenberg was throwing it back, saying maybe Peter can talk a little Universal Studios one episode. I can. Epic Universe? Anybody? We could do a theme park show. I'm down with it.
Nice.
But Ed, I know you named, first off, so let's start off with what you titled the show tonight. So I figured maybe we should start off with what we actually named the show and then go down the list. There's other things in the chat that people want to talk about. Some of the things that Richard Greenberg has brought up. We have images for us, so we were thinking in the same lines. But House of Dragons. I know you were excited about this show. What do you think? What do you think about this latest episode with? Look, the way the king looks, it's perfect for the Halloween season.
Oh, dude, it's awesome! When I saw his actual look without that mask, it's it's pretty frightening, dude. Yeah, he's got leprosy, if I'm not mistaken, and so he's falling apart. I think he doesn't have like fingers in his other hand. They don't show it anymore. So basically, the guy's falling apart, and we're gonna start with the spoilers, by the way. If you didn't see the last episode, now's your time to go walk away. So the reason why I told Peter we should name it "Making Dragons" is because
I don't understand why we titled that. To be honest, Ed.
Because you saw Damon. He went into I think it was a volcano or something.
That was such a small part.
Yeah, and there were eggs in there. He basically got the eggs out. I think he got 3 eggs out.
Yeah.
And he gave it to the maesters, and so making dragons, because those are dragon eggs and making dragons. But also I wanted to bring up that, they had like a family dinner, a nice, cozy family dinner. Lots of love right there. And, and they, and what's her name? Rhaenyra, which is the lady right above me. She's supposed to be the queen. She's going to become the queen when the father dies. And she's already had.
He dead now. See what happens.
Oh yeah. For the end of the episode, Peter just ruined it. So yes, at the end of the episode, he kicked the bucket. So next episode is going to be really interesting because that's when the whole, I think, war starts, or they're gonna lead up to the even more to the war. But Rhaenyra is a perfect example. Has already had kids with the guy right next to her. It's not Doctor Who.
It is
Doctor. Well, it is Doctor Who, but he's Damon. They got married. That's her uncle, by the way. There's a lot of love. That's a really close family.
Really?
And they had apparently they've already had 3 kids. She's pregnant with the 3rd kid.
Right. She's right.
And she had 3 kids before.
Yeah.
With another guy that they killed away. Yes. That were bastards.
Don't call them that.
No, because the king will have your tongue, as you saw in that episode, Peter,
or your entire head.
Damon,
sticking out of the neck.
Well, he basically saved the tongue for him for the king.
Did you see that? The tongue was sticking out of the neck.
He perfectly cut him so that you could see the tongue. So the king said, "I want your tongue," and Damon let it happen.
Got it.
And he gave it to his brother. Gave him that tongue, basically. So. And that guy, the guy that died, Valerian, I forgot his name, his first name, but he's one of the Valerians, which is which is the bastard uncle, or how would you even call it, Peter? Bastard uncle.
The one that got his head cut off?
Bastards.
The guy that got his head cut off?
Yeah, he was the uncle of the bastards.
Well, he's the brother of the king of that group.
Well, not the king. He's the Valerian, the brother of the...
they're not called kings.
The leader of the house.
I mean, he's the master of that castle or whatever. They got a title. He's got a title. Maybe it's not king, but it's something.
Somebody in the chat will tell us.
Yeah, he's the master of that castle of the royal fleet. But the brother of him, because that dude's dying. Because
they got the largest fleet in Westeros, basically.
But so that dude's dying, because of a battle that they didn't show, right?
Right.
And so the brother speaks up, gets his head chopped off.
And gets his head chopped off because he wanted to be named, because he thinks his brother's dead.
Right.
So he wants to be named the owner of that castle or whatever.
Right.
And I don't know if he's got kids. I don't think he's got kids though.
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
Because they haven't shown that guy with any kids. So he would be the heir. He wants to be the heir because the other kids are, Rhaenyra's kids are bastards. They're not really his blood. So that came out. And, of course, Rhaenyra's going to say that she had the kids with her husband, which was nephew to that guy. Or I'm sure I'm confusing you guys if you don't see the
well, see, okay,
show.
But we don't need to go down every little thing like people. But I mean, that's the thing, that this show is complicated. There is so much there's so many threads, and it is complicated. And I think I'm following the show, but every once in a while I'm like, what the hell's going on? Right. And but I mean, I everything you're saying, I'm following.
You think they're going too fast, Peter? You think it's they're trying to get there.
I don't know. Yeah, they definitely gloss over so many things.
The kids are growing quick.
It feels like they're setting up something, but then they're never. Okay, maybe they're setting up right now what's going to be a big civil war, which is what I put in the description, because it feels like there's going to be a battle for the crown. Because they're not just going to give it to Rhaenyra. I mean, even though it's supposed to be hers, Queen's not stepping down that easy. She put up all her emblems all around the castle. She's claiming it as her own. She's running it with her dad. So there's all that. She's not
the queen that Peter's talking about is this
old dude's wife.
The wife, yeah. So not Rhaenyra, who's above me. She's
right. But they're
gonna be the queen.
They're like good friends. They were good friends. But
they
anyway,
were.
Yeah, but it feels like there's been several episodes where it feels like, oh, it's gonna get good now. It's gonna get, and then they totally shift gears or go into more kind of like, okay, the dinner scene and everything was interesting, but it was for me a little boring. But I get it. The funny thing is, comparing it to say Andor, right? Andor is got a lot of slow parts of setting up conspiracies and setting something up too, in a similar way, but yet I'm much more engaged with that show than I am with this show. This show, I kind of there was an episode before this where it was really even hard to see. It was like so dark, the episode. It was like, holy cow, you got to watch that show in pitch black, because if you have any light on in your house, you're not going to be able to see. And then
it's like the old Game of Thrones. They had an episode like that also when they fought with the Night Walkers. That was like really dark.
Yeah,
and people couldn't see. I couldn't see.
Yeah,
you had to like watch it later and put like and lighten it up somehow so you could see what was happening in the background.
Yeah, I think the show's got moments where I'm like, okay, you got me, and then I think like, okay, like now this next episode, if they don't have the beginning of like some big old civil war and if they shift gears again, I'm gonna be like, all right, you lost me, because there's no, so far there hasn't been to me like any kind of payoff. It's like some cool moments, like I think it was not this episode but the last episode where the queen's son got his eye gouged out. I mean, that was kind of cool. The fight with the kids and everything, that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
kind of, but now that kid that got his eye gouged out is a badass.
He is a badass.
He grew up, man. He could fight. He looks tough. He got a dragon. He looks like don't mess with him.
He got the biggest dragon too.
They didn't show it in this episode, but we remember.
Basically stole that dragon from the other girls who were supposed to get it from their dead mom or whatever. He used to ride the that dragon, but
so I know the ratings
got a good deal.
I know the ratings are really good on this show, but it just hasn't 100% grabbed me. I'm trying. I'm watching it. Yeah. Richard Greenberg says, too much politics, leprosy, violence, and dragons. I am also not feeling this series.
No, you're not alone, Peter.
I want more dragons, more action, and I'm okay with a little bit of politics because, again, I could see some of the politics and things like that in other shows and love it. This one, I'm not really digging. Richard Greenberg, however, is digging Rings of Power and Andor. Rings of Power, I'm so on, but
I'm still so on that. But we're gonna get to that in a little bit, Richard. Don't worry, we're getting to it. And so before we go to that, I just wanted a brief parentheses. I think we talked enough about the dragons and stuff. I'm watching. I'm a big Anne Rice fan, so I like the whole vampire stuff. So
I read I don't know if I read the entire trilogy. I used to read horror books. It's funny is I don't like horror movies, but I used to read horror novels. And I read Interview with the Vampire. I think I read all three years and years ago. And then I also read her book, The Witching Hour. I think it was called The Witching Hour.
Right. Yeah. They're making a show on that one too.
Huge book. I read that one as well. But go ahead. Tell me, where can I watch this show?
It's on AMC, which also has the rights to The Witching Hour, which is coming out. They're actually filming it right now. So they have Anne Rice's, at least two of Anne Rice's series or whatever. She passed away, I think, last year.
Did she?
Yeah, before this, but the deals were already done, and I think they were already filming.
I didn't know.
So yeah, I started watching it. I actually liked it. Considering they've changed the whole story a little bit about the from the book, and it's different from the Interview of the Vampire movie that we saw
Tom Cruise.
with Tom Cruise, which was basically Yeah, it was basically the book. Well, give or take. This one's a little bit different. It's set, in modern times.
Oh.
They kind of like made the they kind of like made the story 100 years after the original one. So it's still New Orleans, but there's already cars. The beginning of Cars were 1910 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they hurried it up, 100 years or whatever, and it's interesting because it's a different take. For example, Louis is supposed to be, a white French Creole, I guess you could call it, and they also have what's it called? Yeah, my wife came in and if there was a camera right now, I think our viewership would go up.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Yeah, yeah. So don't get close to the camera.
Uh-oh.
Anyways, so yeah, she took me off of my concentration. What were we thinking? What was they talking about? Oh, so the interview. Yeah.
Now we can only think of like, why did it take his attention away? And she can't be on camera. What is
she came in her underwear. That's all I gotta say.
I thought you were gonna let us keep guessing. That'd be more fun.
And I think she did it on purpose. But anyways, so this interview of Vampire, it's a new take. And so, if you guys have read the book, you might be a little bit upset with it. But I think the everything that leads up to it, the interview, that was that the interview is an older version of the interviewer in Interview with a Vampire, the movie, and everything is different, but I think it's good. So if you guys get a chance to watch it, go ahead and watch it. It's like I said, it's a little bit different, but I think the way that they made it go works. There is a little bit of homoeroticism in it, which was also in the book.
It's Anne Rice. All her books are definitely on the sex level.
They have that's
a
little but if you're okay with some of that, there's not much. There's a little bit, but it's still an interesting story, and so if you guys check it out. Hopefully Peter will check it out. I hope I haven't scared him away from watching it.
No, I mean, you get used to that stuff nowadays. I don't want to watch it, but it's everywhere.
Yeah.
AMC. So I don't have AMC on my pro channels that I have, but if I'm not wrong, I think most AMC things end up on Hulu because AMC is owned by Disney. Part of that Fox Transit purchase, 20th Century Fox purchase they made.
So you will be able to see it, Peter.
I think it is probably already streaming on Hulu or will be at some point. So since we're talking monsters and stuff, Richard Greenberg brings something up that I did watch also, and I forgot to tell you when you were asking.
You should have, Peter. I love these monster stuff.
I don't remember. Well, you don't want to see this one. Richard Greenberg says, I tried to watch that awful Rob Zombie directed Munsters movie. It's not Monsters, Munsters. It was so awful, I turned it off after 30 minutes, says Richard.
Rob Zombie made it, huh?
Rob Zombie, yeah. Here's the thing. I like Rob Zombie's music. Living Dead Girl and all that kind of stuff. Thunderbird, all that good stuff. But seen him in concert, but I'm not so sure about his directing. I know he's directed some horror movies. Again, I'm not really into horror. But the Munsters, I mean, we all grew up, I think, if you're of my age, you grew up watching the Munsters. And the Munsters were old when I was a kid. But, we watched the old black and white rereruns. They were on TV.
Right. They were good.
They were awesome. Herman Munster, I mean, it was great. Yeah. And I saw Netflix.
And Grandpa.
And I knew they were making a Munsters movie.
Remake.
Originally I thought it was gonna be in theaters or something. I didn't know Zombie was directing it until like closer to release date. I watched it. I watched the entire thing. I did not turn it off after 30 minutes. I committed to it, and it is god awful.
Wow.
It is. See, here's the problem. It's okay. Parts of it were just so cheesy, and I'm okay with that. It's the Munsters after all. It should be cheesy. but it wasn't funny. It's like Rob Zombie. I don't know if he knows how to do funny. And it was beautiful. I thought it looked good. Like visually, I thought it looked good. All the characters looked good. The lighting was cool with all the neon kind of lighting all the way around it. The way it was lit, it was lit the way I'm lit right now. You know, all these fun lighting and stuff. I thought that was really cool, but it was just boring. It was bad. The story was horrible. Zombie helped write it, and so maybe that's part of the problem too. Richard says
good music, not a good director, not a good
yeah. Richard says it was supposed to be released theatrically, but everyone saw how bad the trailer was, and Universal moved it to Peacock. No, I think it was on Netflix.
Really?
But either way, wherever it was.
Well, if it is on Peacock, I'll check it out. I haven't been able to see it. You know, I wish Peter would have told me about it, but it's all good.
I forgot. You asked me that today early, and I forgot to tell you. Like I said, I watch a lot of stuff. I actually started watching a new to me show, and I'm not 100% about it. I've said before here, you put a spaceship in something, and you got me. I'm gonna at least maybe check it out. Well, I watched after watching the Game of Thrones show today. I watched it today. After that, it showed like other things I might like, and it showed a show called Avenue 5. It came out in 2020, but I didn't watch it. It's a spaceship cruise. Basically, they go on a cruise, and it's a comedy. And it's got the guy from House, the lead doctor from the TV show House. I forgot his name. But I'm checking it out. I don't know if it's any good yet. I've watched like 2 episodes. It's okay. It's got a humorous thing to it, but
good. And well, let's talk about another. You watched another one also that you were telling me about that I totally forgot to watch. Marvel.
Yeah, the Marvel thing, Werewolf of the what was it called? I told you where. I'm looking through the chat.
Werewolf by Night, I think it's called.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Which, by the way, there's a full moon out.
That's the Marvel Werewolf by Night. Now, I looked and I saw all these reviews. People are loving it. Maybe I'm a simple man, Ed, and maybe that's part of the reasons why I don't dig the Game of Thrones. I'm just too simple, but. It's shot black and white, which, okay, I'm all right with that. But it's just characters I've never heard of. I don't know anything about. And it's weird. I didn't get it. I didn't like it. I watched the whole thing. It's like an hour.
Is it probably one of those that you have to know about the Marvel past of it? Because it's supposed to be related to some of the Marvel. I forgot which other... It's kind of like intertwined with Moon Knight, I think.
But I've watched everything. I've watched Moon Knight. I've watched everything. It's not related to anything, at least that they talk. There's no mention of that character in any other show that I've seen.
Not in the shows, but I know in the comics, I think.
Maybe in comics, but not in any of the stuff that's been in the MCU, right? It might have been, in the comics. But, basically... So is
it supposed to be in the MCU universe, or is this outside?
I guess. But it seems like it takes place a long time ago. So basically the premise, I'm not going to give it away since you haven't seen it. We'll ruin it for other people, but we don't want to ruin it for each other, right?
All right. But that's how we are. That's how we work around here.
Yeah, exactly. It basically is a premise where, they're hunting a monster and things happen. And they're the whole episode is they're hunting this monster, and it's a little campy. I didn't like it. That's all. I did not like it. Baldwin Four checking in and saying, "Yeah, Werewolf is related in the comics to Moon Knight." Okay, yeah, but it's not, but see, there was you got that right.
I knew it was one of those,
but it's not. They never mentioned it in the Moon Knight TV series, so so as far as I'm concerned, there's no connection. But yeah. Maybe for people that there's payoff if you read the comics, but again,
I think he's also related to other or he's mentioned, well, he's supposed to be in other ones, but I'm not too familiar with it either. That's why when I heard about this, I was like, they had a werewolf, in the Marvel universe. I was like,
Baldwin saying, remember that scene in Moon Knight where he beats the crap out of that dog monster? Everyone thought that was Werewolf by Night. All right. I guess it went over my head because I didn't know that. Yeah. I don't know. Well, watch Werewolf by Night. See what you think. Maybe it's artistic and I just don't get it. People seem to like it. I didn't like it. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was a waste of my time. But it was. And
Peter is not very critical. He's not very critical.
I'm pretty easy to please, but it was better than the Munsters. I will give you that.
Wow. All right.
Better than the Munsters.
Better than the Munsters. So that's saying a lot. And Peter likes the Munsters. So
I like the original Munsters. I did not like this
Rob Zombie version of it.
Ed, what I do like, and I think could be, in my opinion, the best show on TV right now, blows this House of Dragon out of the water. That's Andor. I think this is the show.
That's a good show. I love it too.
And I'm going to tell you right here, Ed, this young guy on the right, he's going to die. I'm confident he's going to die.
They're setting it up. He just looks like he's going to die, right?
So, yeah, I mean, I'm loving Andor this episode. They're
not all going to make it.
No, they're setting up for a big heist that they're going to do. This episode was not as much happened, but there was still a lot of angst and everything. I thought it was great. I loved how they had the scenes where the TIE fighters are just like strafing these people. They're just flying low over them, and it just makes you feel. It's like the TIE fighters in other movies. They're just kind of flying around. Okay, they're menacing, but this was like you were scared. Like you could feel like the fear of holy crap, these TIE fighters are coming down.
That sound too. That sound. The TIE fighters sound.
I mean, he came low to the ground. I mean, just to be a jerk, right? because I can.
Mm-hmm. Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Yes, right? Yes. that makes me think of Spaceballs. Are there any a-holes in here? Is there any a-holes in here? Everybody turns around. Everybody turns around. Yeah. Awesome. It's a great movie. But Baldwin says, we all know Andor is going to die, so what's new? Yes, Andor himself is going to die, but not in the TV series. He's going to die. He dies in the movie. He's going to make it out of this TV series. But when I say guy on the right, maybe, I don't know what, I'm my right. The guy above me. I don't know how it looks when you're watching it.
Yeah, it's on your right. It's on your
right. The young guy here. He's like the true believer, right? He believes, writing this manifesto that he's holding there. He's this true believer. But he's not a very good, at fighting. He falls asleep while he's on guard duty or whatever. That's not good. Yeah, because right now, think about this. Andor himself is not a true believer, but yet when Rogue One comes around, he seems like a real believer. So at this point,
not in the beginning. Yeah.
This point, he's a hired gun, and he's
doing it for the money. Doing it for the money.
He's sitting there, money, right? He told them, I'm doing it for the money, but yet I think this kid will die. And it will be a part of what transforms Andor into a true believer. Mm-hmm. It may not be the whole thing, but it will be a piece in what turns Andor into a true believer and doesn't care about the money and selling off a kyber crystal or what have you. But this show, I think, is great. Are you loving it as much as I am, Ed?
Yeah, man. I mean, everything that has to do with Star Wars, even though we're not seeing any Jedis and this is all just the layman, I guess you could say,
no
the
normal, Jedis in this.
Yeah, nobody with any Jedi abilities or whatever.
No dark side, light side.
But nothing like that. This is just basically about lame people like us, in a galaxy far, far away. I think it's incredibly entertaining. I think it's the best series. That is Star Wars series that they've done in a while. Mandalorian was good too, but
it's a debate. That's a debate. Yeah. Season 1 of The Mandalorian versus this. It's tight.
Mm-hmm. Well, this hasn't ended yet, so I guess they could still screw it up, Peter.
Sure.
So, that's the thing about that.
The other thing that I'm loving about this series, though, is the inside look of the Empire, of how the Empire works, the inner workings of the Empire. They show
the bureaucracy.
Right. They show the ISB, the Imperial Security Bureau, I think is what it's called. And showing how they work and they describe what their philosophy is. And it just makes I keep saying I want to see a show. Like, I'm all about the good guys, right? I'm all about...
They look like rent-a-cops, right? They're just not that good.
Well, but it makes me want to see more of the inner workings of the Empire. I want a series from the Empire's perspective because it's all on how you view things, right? Because if you look at the rebels from a different perspective, they're terrorists.
Right.
They're awful.
They are terrorists.
Right?
Yeah.
So and the Empire is just about law and order and trying to keep the peace. Right? So it depends on the perspective. And so I want to see an episode, a show, I want to see a series where you're looking at it from the Empire side, where they see themselves as the good guys and the rebels as the bad guys. And
I like what Richard Greenberg said right now about his mother. I think it's funny. If you want to put that up.
He says, I love that corporate dude with his mother. It kind of reminds me of my mother. Yeah, there's got to be a bigger story for him, right? Because they spent time, this guy that was one of the rent-a-cops, corporate cops, he goes back to Coruscant, which is interesting. He's on Coruscant, which is the headquarters of the Empire, right? Of the Galactic Senate. And so he's on Coruscant with his mother, and his mother thinks he's no good at anything, and she just seems like she just wants to use him to climb her way up.
Yeah, calling in favors.
Yeah, like because she's so important, she can call in favors. But he just seems like right now just like a loser, just kind of like looking outside, just like God. But they're obviously, I think somehow does he join the Empire? Does he become a true believer of the Empire? Because he's right there. He's real close to just going in that direction. He pulls up the little puck with Andor on, and he's still not letting that go.
Yeah, he seems like he's overzealous. He wants, he wants to. He's in his own world. He wants to do better, but he's trying to go, hardcore. But he's not that hardcore.
No, he's still a bit of a wuss.
Yeah,
he's got to go cry to mommy.
He wants to. He wants to be a badass, but he's so far away from that.
Yeah, I think there's only a couple more episodes, maybe, of this. 1 or 2 more episodes of this. Richard is saying also that the acting is great in this series. Agreed. So yeah, lots of great stuff. I think the show's just getting better.
Peter, are you wearing pajamas?
Christopher Harris checking in. You missed the entire episode or part when I was talking about my shirt.
Yeah, check out the beginning where Peter talks about his shirt, but those are not pajamas. That's a real shirt.
I actually paid money for this. No, they're not. No, Baldwin, they're not pajamas. I will actually go out on town wearing this. Although I gained a little weight, it's a little tight.
Oh boy.
But Ed, some other news that was brought up. So that before we're running last 10 minutes of this show, Spaceballs was an amazing movie.
Yes. We might have to do a live Spaceballs review. We should do that maybe one day when
break down Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, man, that movie's got so many great parts, man.
It does. It's so good. But guess who's back? Back in town.
Who's back?
Superman is back, Ed.
Oh, I heard about that one, dude. And I'm really looking forward to this Black Adam movie, man. Because
Henry Cavill is back. Yeah.
Yes. So does he come out? I mean, I've heard a lot of rumors. What's the latest?
So the latest rumor, it just came out, was that, The Rock keeps teasing about it. Like he kept mentioning little hints. Like he did some reveal at Comic-Con or something, and he drops Superman's name and stuff. He's dropping little hints because obviously he knew it was a done deal. But from what the reports are, that Warner Brothers were out of the Henry Cavill business. They were done as far as him being Superman. But The Rock went to bat for Henry Cavill and pushed them to bring him back as Superman in Black Adam. Like, there's going to be a small part. There's even rumors that there could be a small part with him in The Flash.
Wow.
But Black Adam comes out first. So the first sighting would be Black Adam, which comes out in, a few weeks? A couple of weeks?
Yeah. I think it's on the 20-something. A couple of weeks.
Yeah. And so, and Richard Greenberg and Baldwin are having conversations. I didn't know this. Black Adam takes place on a different Earth. And then Baldwin says he thinks it's Earth 2, JSA Earth. I did not know that.
Look at that. Okay, so that's... Well, I don't know if that's the case, how it works out with the Flash movie, how it's related to Superman in this case. Because that would make sense because, the JSA might not exist in the universe where Superman came out with the whole Justice League. We don't know yet.
But there's more.
Interesting.
They say this is just the reintroduction of him, and that there is going to be a Man of Steel 2. And apparently it's going with the Man of Tomorrow storyline. I'm not super familiar with that. I mean, I think I read some of those comics, but it's such a long time ago that I would have to refresh my memory on those. But those,
so Henry Cavill would be the Superman in this universe.
Yes. Rumors are he could be Superman for the next 10 years. Like they're going back into the Henry Cavill business. They're going full on.
I think that's good. I mean, everybody it looks like what a Superman should look like, I guess,
Acting is good enough.
The chicks dig him. Peter digs him.
Yeah, I mean, he looks the part, Richard Greenberg says he really liked Man of Steel. It's one of his favorite DC movies. I like it. I bought it.
I like it too.
I own it.
I liked it too. Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm excited to see, DC trying to do a little Marvel type thing. They've tried and they keep failing left and right. But is Rock able to kind of be their Kevin Feige, right? Kind of, not really, but
right. I don't know. Well, the thing is, Black Adam is a badass. It looks like he's going to be a badass in this movie.
It looks like a really cool movie.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I want to see it in the theaters. I already told my wife she's gonna go with me. Hopefully, she won't fall asleep because she falls asleep in just about every movie I take her to. But this has got Henry Cavill. She's got The Rock in it. My wife likes The Rock, but she especially likes Henry Cavill. So if she knows that he's in there, forget about it. She'll be awake.
I also like the guy that they cast. I don't know his name, but the guy that they cast for Hawkman. He played. He was on Lost. Mm-hmm. If you remember, he played Echo. Yeah. Echo on Lost. He was like the priest that was actually a drug runner, but he had he got eventually taken by the smoke monster or something like that. So I mean, I like that actor. So I thought he's cool as an actor.
So that's going to be cool. I like the on the clip where he's going to go try to hit him with his hammer and it doesn't work out too well for him.
Right.
Looks like Black Adam's a badass. I can't wait to see him fight with Superman. That's going to be incredible.
Baldwin says, "Forget the DC cinema universe. Black Adam will be cool, but that's it." Well, Batman too. I mean, they're going to keep trying because until they sell it off, right? If they sell off DC or something like that, but they're going to keep trying. It's a gold mine. They got to keep trying. They got
great characters, and they could totally.
You just got to find the right people. Off of it. You just got to find the right people to run it, and maybe they need to stop looking at Marvel and trying to be the next Marvel. Just be yourself.
Be your thing. Do your thing.
They don't have to all be interconnected. Yes, it's cool, but
Peter, Marvel's not perfect either. I mean, look at She-Hulk.
Oh God,
that's our next subject.
Yeah, I didn't pull up a screenshot of She-Hulk because.
Dude, I had a conversation with a couple of our friends, the Rivera brothers. Mitch and Paboni. They were in the stadium with me, and we were hanging out. So we had a brief conversation about about that, and they were just telling me how they hate She-Hulk.
Okay, Ed, I figured it out.
Okay,
we're not the target audience. Simple as that. My daughter is watching it. She loves it. Mm-hmm. She loves it. We are not the target audience. Sense. I think I mentioned this on one of our previous shows that maybe that's why I'm not getting it. Is it's for it's targeting women. It's targeting young women, and that's smart because I'm sure the majority of their demo is men. So boys to men, right? But so it makes sense to target women to get them into it as well. But
Baldwin agrees with you.
Yeah,
bingo. Yeah, that's funny. I played bingo last night. But yes, bingo.
Yeah, it's not for me. So I'm watching it. I'm gonna finish it just because I'm a completist, right? I want to watch all the Marvel stuff. I want to see all the interconnectivity.
We're not quitters, right, Peter? Right? We're not quitters.
I even watched Eternals and all that and that hunk of junk. But
that was a bad one,
right? So
this is gonna be the Eternals too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I thought Eternals finished okay. It just was majority of the movie was like meh. But I thought it finished okay to where I was like, maybe I'd be interested to see more.
But a little bit more.
I thought most of it was kind of boring, but I think it finished well.
Yeah.
Richard Greenberg, bringing it back to DC, says they say Comcast will buy Warner's in 2024. It will be bad to lose another studio. Not a fan of Universal Warner Brothers merger. I'm okay with it. I know some people don't like it because it's monopoly stuff and all that kind of stuff, but I have no problem with that. But I look at it like some of my favorite things are big, massive companies: Disney, Apple. Right. I mean, they gobble up everything, right?
Well, dude, I think Richard, who brought that up right now? I saw somebody. They said Fox is getting. There you go.
He says Disney buying Fox was bad too. I don't agree. I don't see how it was bad.
Anything that has Disney, you're gonna love, Peter.
They got more, but look.
Unless somebody buys out Disney, which doesn't look likely, but
hey, there were rumors that Apple might buy Disney or something like that. But
there are bigger fish.
To me, it just gets better and better. Then I like Apple.
Well, yeah, he's an Apple lover.
Yeah. No, but I don't have a problem with it because I guess Disney's track record of what they do is good. I like it. I don't like everything the corporate monster does. I don't like the way Bob Chapek runs Disney right now and what he's doing to the theme parks. I could go on for a couple hours about that. But overall, they've put out good movies, and I like the direction of what they've done. So them having control of Fox, I'm okay with it. So, but now think about it. If Comcast buys Warner Brothers, going back to theme parks, and Richard wanted me to talk about Universal Studios, they have a land in Islands of Adventure that's themed on Marvel. There's been many rumors over the years that since Disney bought Marvel, Disney should get the rights back, but they would have to pay because Universal has the rights forever east of the Mississippi to have the Marvel theme park rights. Except for whoever they used at the time. So that's why Disney and Epcot can get away with Guardians of the Galaxy, but they could not get away with anything like Iron Man, Captain America, Fantastic Four, or any of those kind of characters. But the rumor has been forever that Universal should embrace DC and change that land from Marvel to DC. Now, of course, Universal's not just going to let it go because those movies are doing well. People love to, even though they're not making the movies, they're reaping the benefits because of the land, right? But if they were to buy DC, basically buying, Warner Brothers, they would want to put that in their parks,
right?
How cool.
Interesting.
I mean, we as theme park goers would benefit.
Mm-hmm.
The competition is good. When Universal's building a new theme park, Epic Universe, people say, well, what is Disney going to do? Well, so far, nothing. But competition is good in that case.
It's
and now I know you
them...
that I'm arguing now against the whole merger thing, because now you're saying, well, then having smaller companies out there, competition is good for in the movie industry as well.
Right.
It feels different there. I don't know.
Yeah. You're okay with it.
I guess I'm okay with it. And we didn't even get to some of the other stuff. There was things to talk about, like Rings of Power, which we could talk about next week, because next week is their last episode. So let's maybe save that topic for next week.
Gotcha.
And talk about some Rings of Power next week. But because they have one more episode for the season, so we can kind of review that, our thoughts on that next week.
Sounds good. Yeah, dude. Yeah, today just went by. There was just so much to talk about. It also helped that we weren't on last week, so we just had all this accumulated stuff coming on. But
and you get me rolling on Disney.
Yeah, and I'm still thinking we should do that music show one day. You get me
rolling on Disney, and I will go on and on for hours. You'll either love it or you'll hate it, but I got a lot to say.
But it'll be good. I don't know
about that, but I got a lot to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. A lot of good stuff. Yeah, dude. Yeah, the finale is this week, but we would talk about it next week. That's why I say next week. Yeah, and we're gonna figure out how we're gonna do it, because Monday we're definitely gonna have to talk about the game.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a late soccer show on Monday because of this craziness that they're doing. Major League Soccer putting the game on a Monday. What kind of...
I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm just putting up comments for that we'll discuss next week.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Who's the next show? The next show. Whenever the next show is, we'll discuss it.
I think I know who he is, but we'll talk about that in the next show.
All right.
And like I said, we'll figure out how we're gonna do this show next week. So
I'm usually available.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you next week. Next week, you might see a lot of us because, we've got our Sunday show, right? Then we got maybe the Monday. I don't know. We'll talk. We got a lot. And I might see a lot. I
got to do a short vlog of me at the game.
All right. All right.
Getting wet.
Oh, yeah. You got wet. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.